Hello and welcome back to Sorted Food.
So many of you have commented saying you enjoy our Pick the Premium videos, so we're tweaking it up today. We're making a video called Pick the Process.
Yeah, and that's because so much of our food goes on one hell of a journey before it ends up on our plate. So today, Jamie and Barry are going to see if they can identify which is the fresh and which is the frozen product once it's inside of a dish, and we're going to do it in a good old blind taste testing.
Give it a lift.
What's the point in the cloche?
In each case, A and B, what you have in front of you is a cannellini bean minestrone with a parsley vinaigrette and a garlic crumb. And the thing we'd like you to guess is which of those was made with fresh sofrito and which one was made with frozen sofrito.
Okay.
Oh, that smells yummy.
Food vocab badge coming into play there.
Yummy.
You might want to see if you can get more on that spoon.
Oh, okay.
Might be hot. Here we go.
Right, straight away, that is delicious.
Well, actually, what you're eating is based off of our cannellini bean minestrone recipe from our meal packs app in the Balancing Act pack. I mean, first off, like as a bunch of normals, can you tell us from a chef's perspective what the value of a sofrito base is?
Yeah, it's the perfect combination of kind of root vegetables, onion, carrot, celery, sometimes with bay leaves as well. Large is cut into mirepoix in French cuisine. Small is a sofrito in Italian cuisine, and it provides a wonderful base layer in which to build up flavour. And that's because it's savoury. It's got the sulphur of onion, but also the sweetness of carrot, and all that combined just is the perfect base layer.
That is delicious. Let's see if B lives up to it.
I think there are so many levels of conversation to talk about today. Everything from getting the best value for money, from the journey of the food, to convenience of the food, to does fresh taste better than frozen? That's some stuff that I'd like to find out today.
B for Barry.
A has been frozen.
Why?
Because I feel like I'm getting more flavour. I can taste more from B, and that would make me believe it's fresher.
Blindfold off. See if there's any visual difference.
I think I can see a difference.
The sofrito in B are very, very finely diced, lots of skill taken there. Whereas in A, they're a bit more haphazard, and I reckon that's done by one of our chefs here, and not...
They're starting to sharpen their knives for some reason.
Sorry. One looks very... It's gone for a machine rather than done by very skilled hands.
What I've learned so far is that there isn't a big difference between the flavour and the taste of those two dishes. So if one is considerably cheaper and more convenient than the other, that's a win in my book.
All right, Ebbers, put him out of his misery.
I can tell you that B is the frozen one.
Oh.
You are, in this instance, absolutely correct. B is the processed one. So it is a bag of frozen carrot, onion, celery sold as a sofrito mix and costs £2.40 per kilo. As a comparison,
Yep, please.
we made our own with onion, carrot and celery, did it by hand from fresh ingredients, and that worked out at £3.10 per kilo. So it is more expensive to use the fresh, plus you need the time to chop it.
And the skills, Edders.
Oh, some of us have got that.
Oh!
The only caveat curveball I would throw in is obviously it is processed, which isn't necessarily always a bad thing, but that process is quite costly somewhere. Not to you in the end product, but you know, there are entire factories that need to be fueled and done, plus this product then needs to be frozen and or refrigerated through its entire journey in warehouses, supermarkets. You're running a freezer at home to keep it cold.
But there is less wastage.
At the same time, if I'm going to the effort of making a really nice dish, do I want to have the knowledge that I've done it all myself? Yeah, I probably do actually sometimes.
If this removes one barrier to get more people scratch cooking, then maybe there's a good element in there as well.
Yeah, well, strong start, I must say.
All right, Spaff, number 2. You have 2 cloches.
Oh.
Give them a lift. A and B. Give us your thoughts.
Oh, it's familiar but unrecognisable. Do you know what I mean?
You're going to be experiencing char-grilled veg. One is frozen, one is fresh.
So a mixture of yellow pepper, red pepper, courgette, aubergine.
Am I?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, you got it actually.
Okay.
Who puts a fork in their mouth sideways?
Oh, have I got some couscous?
Got a little bit of couscous there as well. Like the last round, one of these comes in a bag, already mixed, char-grilled, roasted. The other one we bought fresh and we've prepared, char-grilled and roasted.
The veg in A was quite slimy, which happens sometimes when you're roasting and it doesn't crisp up. B, the veg is far more crunchy. Flavour-wise, they both have good flavour. So with that in mind, A is frozen.
One just tastes slightly cleaner and fresher. B's fresh, so A is the frozen one here.
Take your blindfold off, see if that makes any difference once you can see them.
Any noticeable difference? Are you happy with your choice?
I am very happy in my choice.
B looks and feels vibrant. That's the only word that I can give it.
All those blindfolds you've got at your house came in handy, didn't they?
I'm actually happy with my answer.
And you should be, because you're absolutely correct. And I think structure is a big part to play here. If you think about berries as an equivalent, a fresh berry has structure. A frozen berry that you then defrost is much mushier. The same kind of thing happens here. The processed bag of char-grilled med veg, and you're looking at about £3.70 per kilo. B, prepped them, char-grilled them ourselves, and that worked out at about £6 a kilo. So 60% more.
Visually, they are a lot better. And within a salad, I'd say it's important to use them fresh.
It's a lot more expensive, but in a dish where the veg becomes the star of the show, it was noticeable.
I suppose to get the same effect at home, you need to have capacity and space in your kitchen to be able to char grill and create a lot of smoke, a cast iron pan or a barbecue in the summer. You know, not everyone has that access. And the other consideration maybe is that this is a product of Spain, where the ingredients would have been grown, prepared, char-grilled and processed, and then brought over here frozen, whereas the fresh ones came across fresh and are possibly days or weeks old by the time you've finally got them home and used them. So although they are fresh rather than frozen, they are older. Like you say, Jay, when it's the hero ingredient, I think you have to go from fresh.
Hard agree.
Alrighty.
Barry, this one comes with a health warning. Please don't burn yourself. Both dishes are in hot cast iron pan.
Oh, I can smell fish.
What you got, another dish inspired by our Meal Packs app. It is spiced dal with cod loin on top, which is steamed on top in the final few moments of cooking. Finished with yogurt.
This is amazing. It's so far away from him.
Ow.
This is amazing.
This is where the blindfold's really painful because I'm pretty sure if I took this off, I could tell the difference straight away. I always find frozen fish is really obvious because it doesn't flake the way it normally does. With A, the bar was set really high there. I was like, that is delicious. That has to be fresh. But then moving over to B, you get the delicate flavours from the fish, which are lost in this one.
A has less of the cod flavour, but it does have a really decent texture to it. Flaky texture.
Yep.
B still has a slight bite to it, still quite flaky, but it tastes far fishier.
We always say that fresh fish shouldn't be too fishy. In fact, something like cod has almost got a sweet meatiness to it that is
I
absolutely
like it.
delicious when it's fresh.
They are both exceptionally good. B, I managed to get a big chunk of fish, where on A, I kept getting a mixture of both. It was a lot more mushy, so I'm going to go for A is the frozen.
I prefer A, and I also think that A might be frozen.
Right, we locked it in. Have a look. I'm not sure you'll be able to see any difference. Maybe you will.
I'm still not convinced. I think I got that wrong.
Put him down. I mean, put him out of his misery.
A is skinless, boneless cod loin, sold fresh from a UK supermarket at £20 a kilo. B is the premium grade frozen cod fillets from another UK supermarket, and that is £12.50 per kilo.
I should have gone with my nose. I should have gone with the pong. For me, it comes down to what you use it in. I've had frozen cod at home. It doesn't look as good on the plate. As soon as you put it into a dal,
Or a fish pie,
Or a
that
fish
most
pie, anything
comforting
else.
of dishes. Now, Jay, I've got a curveball for you.
Oh, here we go.
because this is really interesting, and I have to be honest, we only stumbled across this when we started really digging in on a few of these options. Most of the fresh seafood available in UK supermarkets, pre-packaged, has been frozen, including that one.
What? Sorry, what?
Because it's caught in the depths of the sea and in the North Atlantic Ocean, and it would take days to get it back here. So it is frozen, but then it is defrosted under controlled conditions and sold to you fresh.
What?
Freshly defrosted.
Sorry, what?
Yeah.
I've never looked into it enough to realise that that was the case. I wonder how much other food that applies to as well.
However, because it is more controlled, it is still a more premium product. You said it tasted better. It is sweeter and less fishy. It is probably younger in the sense that the frozen fish has a much longer shelf life and may have been out of the sea a lot longer, although it's been hard frozen.
Well, that has blown my mind.
Isn't it?
That frozen fish was Iceland, but the same applied to Tesco, Sainsbury's and Ocado.
I'm gutted that I didn't get it right, but I've definitely learned more from it.
One more curveball. They also have Iceland cod fillets that are half the price, but those are caught in the North Atlantic, packaged in China, brought to Dublin's head office and store, and then sold in London. However, despite the fact it's been halfway around the world and back, it's half the price.
How is that even possible?
And I should stress
is-
that's not just Iceland, that's the same for Tesco and Sainsbury's and most of the UK supermarkets. A lot of their frozen fish is packaged on the other side of the world.
That is mind-blowing.
Sadly, fishmongers are really difficult to come by.
Yeah.
It plays with all preconceptions.
A was definitely the tastier one. Now that I know that that's because that's fresh, that settles how I buy my fish.
But it has also been frozen.
Shh.
It's been a great day so far.
Has it?
It has.
Well, so you've got 3 out of 3, have you?
Well,
How great has it been?
2 out of 3, come on.
We've done veg, we've done fish. What we actually want you to judge here is beef.
Is this spag bowl?
Near enough, it's not actually spaghetti, but it is the beef bolognese we want you to judge.
That's a very rich ragu. I'm enjoying that. Oh, there we are.
How are the piano lessons going?
Not too bad.
Same but different.
Oh.
Still hasn't worked out how to use the fork.
We've not mixed it all together as is more traditional in Bologna. We've served the ragu on top.
Oh, gotcha.
One of those plates has been made with fresh minced beef and one has been made with frozen. Otherwise, the cooking method is identical.
Straight away, as a bolognese goes, it's very beefy. It's very rich. I guess there's a lot of red wine and beef stock in that. Compliments to the chef.
Oh, it's your first today.
I've made my decision.
Wow.
Whoa.
That is such Barry Taylor confidence.
Yep, Barry
Go.
Taylor confidence. A is frozen.
What, like you said, it was delicious.
It is delicious, but texture-wise, it's nitty and gritty.
It-
Whereas
what?
B, I've got big bits, I've got little bits.
It feels like it's grit.
Yeah.
A is slightly more grainy. It's falling apart. Therefore, I think that A is frozen.
Okay, well, decision was abruptly made. You've locked it in, have a look, see if that changes your mind. Not that you're allowed to.
There are a few more longer strands of beef
Like
in
clusters.
B. Yeah. A looks more like a cereal, like it's been broken down more.
Happy.
Absolutely definitive on that, and you were absolutely right.
In a good bolognese with a strong stock, an incredible base, the flavours are so rich, it doesn't matter that much. If your sauce game is weak, then you're relying more on the mince to do its job.
A is indeed frozen. UK supermarket frozen beef mince, 12% fat, and is just shy of £5 a kilo. The fresh mince, which is B, also from a UK supermarket, 15% fat, so similar, maybe a little bit more. Also just shy of £5 a kilo. It is a fairly cheap form of mince, you can definitely spend more, but there is very little price difference. We're talking 20p a kilo difference.
I like to be aware of how much meat I'm buying and consuming. So by buying it weekly fresh, it helps me control that a little bit better and know that I'm buying the right stuff and cooking it well as well. Any excess, I can put in the freezer.
The texture is not there, and it's not what you'd be looking for from good minced beef.
But the fact that they're both a similar price makes it an absolute no-brainer, unless there's an Ebbers curveball.
We should point out they're both British beef, and they're both from trusted sources from the supermarket. However, the frozen beef, again, like so many things we're talking about, has less wastage in the supply chain than fresh beef, which might go out of date in the supermarket before it's bought. You might buy it and take it home and not get around to using it. There is a lot more wastage in the fresh beef. However, like with the berries, like with the veg, when you freeze food, which is basically chemicals, food is made up of chemicals, those chemicals behave in different ways, and you change the structural element, and that is what you're experiencing there.
We talk about meat far more along the lines of eat less of it and eat better quality and buy the best that you can afford. I'm so glad that the difference was that obvious.
You look puzzled. What are you thinking?
I think I've probably lost.
You scored 3 out of 4. Jamie Spafford scored 2 out of 4, so you are the winner today. Congratulations.
Good.
You get to take all of these frozen bags of food home. Well, over to you guys. Which food processes would you like us to investigate next?
As always, comment down below and join in the conversation over on Twitter using the hashtag #SortedTasteTests.
And bitty and nitty. It's all of the itty words. Not bitty, not that one.